One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. Chris Freet, Senior Associate AD for External Operations at Arkansas, is our guest today on One Question. And this should be a really good One Question leading into the weekend, another weekend of college football, as the Hogs just released and launched the Razorback Ticketing Change, which is a bit of an end around traditional secondary ticket services like StubHub or Ticketmaster. So a couple of questions for Chris today, starting with the first operation here, the first hurdle you guys have to cross, Chris, it seems, is marketing the platform to your current single game purchasers or fans in general to get them to reserve the opportunity to buy the ticket. So how are you guys doing that, and how's adoption going?
Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this. We're really excited. So generally speaking, what happens on the secondary market is scalpers are trying to drive maximum price. And what we're interested, like every school, is we're interested in yield. We want the right price. We want our tickets priced accordingly to fill the stadium and get butts and seats. And that's what we think the platform's optimized to do, because what the platform does is it undercuts the prices that the secondary market is charging. So the algorithm of the platform that Light is providing to us goes out and looks at what's being charged for the Alabama game, as an example, on our home schedule, and purposefully undercuts that price by about 20%. Most of us know, but those that don't work in ticketing may not. What you see on resale sites isn't really market price. It's set by the professionals that do this as a business, and they're trying to maximize the money they can bring in. So we feel like there's a tremendous opportunity for us to bring in incredible value to our fans by, instead of trying to maximize revenue as the institution, trying to go out and get them a price that is much more affordable than what they're seeing on traditional marketplaces. And you asked about how it's going. To be honest, it's going better than expected. Through 3 days of the platform being live, we have well over 500 reservations for tickets spread out across all 4 of our SEC home games this year.
And the beauty of the reservation system, it seems, is that you are capturing potential purchase data or customer data even before a transaction takes place. Is that right?
Correct. So we've actually had over 5,000 signups, and our reservation rate is about 10%. So there are 5,000 leads that are already in our database, because we've been marketing this via email to our existing database. But there's 5,000 leads that have explored this, and the adoption rate's at about 10% right now.
Okay, so let's go through a scenario where, and maybe it won't happen because of your home football schedule, SEC schedule that has some marquee names on it, but in the scenario where you guys commit to buy back tickets up to face value from your current season ticket holders, but then you're going to potentially sell them for 20% less than the median on other secondary sites, could there be a scenario where you are selling them for less than what you bought them for and thus losing money? And is it worth it in that regard?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's why we're starting with the 4 games we have this year. That's certainly down the road possible. But some of the way that this platform functions counteracts that risk. So if you were putting in a reservation request today for any of our 4 SEC games, it's essentially like you buying an airline ticket, with the simple caveat of we haven't delivered you the ticket just yet. And the reason I say it's like buying an airline ticket is you want to go to the Alabama game and you want to sit at the 50-yard line, so you're fine paying the price that we're offering you for the reservation. But you're not, generally, the consumer is not coming back over the next month and 10 days to see if someone else got a better price or the person on the airline sitting next to them got a better price. So that price is locked in. And what the platform also does is it takes the demand on the front end. So we're asking for reservations on the front end, then we're turning around to our season ticket holders and saying, hey, we have fans that are interested in sitting in your section. We can sell back to you at this price. Are you interested?
If I'm a traditional broker, Chris, if I'm part of a group or an individual spending I mean, as we know, some of these folks do 6-7 figures on this effort to make margin on reselling tickets. What do I think about this effort? What's my position right now?
It's another competitor in the marketplace. You're probably not all that concerned because you're competing against people that have been doing this for many years and that are, in some cases, probably making millions of dollars on doing this as their professional enterprise. But I think that brings up the point of what's the most fascinating about this launch and this project for us is what the potential market effect could be. I think that part's really fascinating. Light has shared some of the data from some of the concerts and festivals that they've worked with, and as their transactions begin to occur, the market effect is that the secondary market prices begin to drop. So if they were $500 before the festival began, Light starts taking transactions at an undercut price. Suddenly the secondary market that was selling at 500 is now selling at 400. So there's a net effect for your fans that is really fascinating. The long-term potential of pulling back some of these prices and some of the price gouging that goes on for these events for Razorback fans is probably the thing I'm most fascinated by and the most excited by.
In the same regard, if I'm a season ticket holder and I have experience listing my tickets on the StubHubs or Ticketmasters of the world, I'm probably not going to stop doing that, even if the price does get pulled back, or will I?
You're probably not going to do that. What we've seen from data, and so what Light did before they even fully got in this enterprise is they scrubbed every secondary market, every transaction, every posting on secondary markets for well over 2 years. And what their data says is that over 70% of postings are failed. So I always like to use my mother as an example on this. If my mom was posting her tickets on StubHub or Craigslist, she would freak out because of what would happen at the transaction end. She wouldn't want to meet somebody at the grocery store to hand off the tickets if it was on Craigslist. And on StubHub, she would be scared that a myriad of things would go wrong. And I think that speaks to a lot of what that 70% of failed postings is. It also speaks to the people that are greedy and overpriced or underpriced. It also speaks to the effect of that other 30% and how good those professionals are. We're excited for the season ticket holder that hasn't done that because it's the first time. We will give them the opportunity to get their return on investment. I'm really excited for people to get into the portal. Once they get into the portal, they're going to get an offer to buy back their tickets immediately. They'll have 24 hours to accept that offer. So instead of having to go on to another site and wait 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months for someone to purchase your ticket, you're going to get an offer right away, and we'll have cash in your PayPal account really quickly, which I think is one of the potential disruptors of this platform.
Okay, so tell me what I'm missing here. You're legitimizing to a degree the secondary market by putting your brand alongside it and making it more reliable. There's certainly a potential revenue upside for you, and then we've got the third thing of capturing new customer data that wasn't currently or isn't currently in your flow. What else is of benefit that I'm missing?
I think the new customer data is really exciting. I have a theory that the people that will be on this platform are not people that are currently in our database or that are currently buying from us through the primary market, because these are individuals that want 50-yard line tickets but don't want season tickets. And there's really no way for them to be in our database right now because we never have 50-yard line tickets to sell unless you're going to pay a donation and buy a season ticket. The other data point we're going to watch is the consumer value. So in those peak national games, if you spend $1,000 to go to that game, whoever you're cheering for better win, or else you're going to feel like you had a bad experience because you spent so much money on it. So as we bring back down that price, we think that people are going to innately have a better experience, come to the event happier. But there's also the effect that it could have on F&B, merchandise, and probably most importantly for us as the institution, will they come to a second game because they've got a little more discretionary income still in their bank account as opposed to being gouged and overpaying on traditional secondary market.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.